podcast with your host, Taylor A. Williams. This is season 2, episode 8. And I have a very special guest today. It's Chrissy. I'm going to get to her in a little bit, but I'm so glad that you tuned in. Remember to like, subscribe, and tune in. So today I have Christina Brown. She is better known as from her peers as Chrissy or Chrissy Lee. Brown was born in Columbus, Georgia, but lived in many places. She relocated to Los Angeles, California, from living in Atlanta. Brown defines herself as a girl with many facets. She is a health and wellness coach, detoxification specialist, former college athlete, high school basketball coach, semi-pro basketball player, has her master's of science degree in social work, community activist, and she is a former business owner. Some people may know her from the modeling/acting space as well. Brown is now converting her talents towards content creation, UGC, learning marketing, and social media space. She's also building a platform for wellness for her audience and brands for the mind, body, and soul. Yes, so let's introduce Chrissy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course. That is a running list. So, oh my gosh. I'm just honored. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So let's start by just getting into you telling a little bit more about yourself. I know I kind of ran down your resume.
Yes.
It's super long, but just give us a little bit of background of who really is Chrissy at heart.
Yeah, Chrissy at heart is very gentle. She's very in tune, and that I had to learn that along the way, you know, and how to maneuver with that. And so being into the wellness space, it makes sense for me. I've been literally an athlete and wellness and all that since I was 8 years old. So, that just carried me over. And so I just have that foundation. And, now being in LA, I just want to continue that journey and in the best way possible, especially being now I'm in my 30s now. I just want to be all that I can be. So, and help in hopes to help other people. So
for sure.
That's where I am.
I love that. Especially in LA with, getting caught up with so much. I mean, people are literally on the health and wellness track like crazy here. I'm just like, my goodness. Like in comparison to where I'm from, Detroit, and other places, it's just hard here. So
for sure.
They're going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired you to pursue the specialty of health and wellness coaching? Did you always know this was something that you wanted to do? Or was it a thing where you were just like, I'm going to trust God's plan and
I think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think, I had spurts where I wanted to shy away from it, but trusting God's plan is like I said, it's that balance, because I've always wanted to do it since I was, like I said, 8 years old. And so, and health and wellness is just second nature to me. And so it feels good to me. It makes sense to me. So I think I just wanted to continue that and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It's like an exploration.
Yes,
that you're doing.
for sure.
I love that. And it can happen at any point in time,
Yes.
We're always still finding ourselves, which I love.
Yes,
So.
and it's a continuous journey.
Yeah.
It never ends.
I love that. I love that for sure. So how would you describe coaching being different than seeing a therapist? Maybe you can differentiate a little bit of those two.
Yeah, I think coaching is more so a development. So if I'm starting from scratch and working your way up to, healing, if you're on your healing journey, and coaching you through that. But I think that, going back and forth with it, it's coaching and it's also your journey. You have to figure out how to do both at the same time.
Right.
And so listening to other people, listening to your coach, and using that and applying that into your life. So, I think that's why coaching is important. But when it comes to therapy, that's something that, you're listening to your therapist, but also it's really on you.
Exactly.
And so I think that is the main difference. So if you're not putting in the work for yourself and, using the tools, because you're getting tools from your therapist to use in your daily life. And if you're not doing that, then I think that therapy won't be as what it could be for that particular person.
Exactly.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, I think with what I always thought was like with a therapist, like they give you the tools, they hear you out, active listening, all of that, but it's really up to you to apply and execute.
Yes.
Versus which the coaching is like they're with you one on
Yes.
one.
They're walking you through it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a little bit more open, I would say, to receiving you and then also giving feedback.
Yes.
Or I say feed forward, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think having a coach and a therapist is good. Like a
Okay.
spiritual coach, or just like a what do you call those coaches? Like I can't even think of the name. Like
Describe it.
like a coach, like a life coach.
Yes.
So having a life coach,
Have heard of those.
and also a therapist is a good balance to have, because you're getting the tools and you're getting someone to coach you through it.
Right.
So it I think that would be, I think that's best for people. I've actually
Yeah.
done that. I had the experience to go through both. So
Oh.
so that's why I can speak from experience as well.
Okay, wow. Nice. Okay, so we all need a little bit of motivation here and there, especially given the state of emergency that we're in with the pandemic and everyday stressors of life. So, how do you motivate your clients, or how would you motivate the everyday person?
I think it's mostly having a plan. What's your plan? So you got to have
Right.
a routine. You have to have, that's your motivation every day, is no. And then once you keep doing that, you'll see the results, and then that's going to continue to motivate you to keep going in your journey of whatever you're trying to achieve.
Right.
But I definitely think that having a plan, it's that drives you. And also within yourself too, you got to know who you are. Once you know who you are, everything else will trickle down. And what I mean by that is, when you know who you are, you know where you come from, you know who created you, the ultimate creator. So when you have that knowingness, then you'll be able to have that internal motivation to live out your purpose.
Right. And what about those people that are still trying to find themselves, find their purpose, and they're feeling a little bit stuck? How do they get motivated? I know you said a plan, but for a lot of those people, they may not know 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line of what they want to do or how they want to live their life. Like, how do they become motivated?
Honestly, it's when certain things happen in your life, when you're kind of knocked down, and you have to pick yourself back up. You have to have some type of like something inside of you that gets you up.
Yeah.
And we all have that, and it's okay if if some people don't really use that, because you will learn along the way. God will show you. And so I think, for people who are still looking, which is okay, or you're still searching and trying to find it, you have certain outlets too. There's different modalities that you can use, such as, meditation, also, just stillness, really quieting your thoughts, and really just staying still, and not allowing outside distractions to get in the way of that. And once you kind of stay still with that, you're able to really know, okay, I have a direction, and God will speak to you.
Right.
Your higher self will speak to you. So that, I think, is crucial in really finding or searching for what your meaning is in life.
Yeah, definitely praying on it, being in the word about it. And like I always say, peace be still, just being
Yes.
still in the moment and just,
Yes.
God's blocking out all distractions.
God's promises, like you said, the word, that, and in the stillness, using the word and praying, and to allow that to motivate you, or to keep you going.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on that.
Yeah, I am too. That's huge. So, what is the role of technology within the health coaching space, and how do you integrate that into any of your sessions that you
Elaborate
have?
more on technology. What do you mean?
So, I guess with a lot of different wellness programs, they may use apps or different, like, I don't know, I've online things that I guess help them through. It could be affirmations, maybe that they incorporate, maybe they receive that daily or weekly. Um, and then just maybe different plans that keep you on track. It could be meal plans, it could be motivational things. I don't know.
I think the first thing comes to my mind is journaling.
Yes, I love journaling.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
And having like a planner and a journal in one, like you really, and that's another motivation too, because you see what your plans are, and it's like, once you wake up and you get your day going and you see everything you have outlined in your journal, or maybe just writing your to-do list, and having that in the front of your mind, like, okay, I know I need to do this, I need to get this done. So as far as apps goes, I think it's good too, because we're in that space of technology, and there's so many apps out there.
Yeah. People use, I'm sorry not to cut you off,
No,
but
you're
people
good.
use TikTok, people use
Yes.
Instagram as their journals.
Yes.
Whether
Yes.
it be actually typing it out, but actually video journaling.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. What they call mini vlogs of yourself. Like using TikTok to like journal your life that way. It's so many different ways. TikTok is huge. I personally just started using TikTok to vlog and also use as a motivation too. So I think hopping on that, and but also just it's really good to just write everything down, because that's how you really bring it to life. So
just like vision boards too.
yes,
Yes.
I love a vision board too.
Yes. Really just like doing the task and then seeing all of what you've
Yes.
done and like putting it in a
And
frame
then when
or
it
something.
comes into fruition, you're like, wow, this is what I had on my vision board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just be so surprised, like, that was me.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I did that.
Right. Like props. Okay. Let's do this. Yes. So
That's the motivation too, right there.
it is, exactly. It keeps you going.
Yes.
So for those people / clients struggling with consistency, what strategies would you use to help them stay on track?
That's a good question. Strategies. Yeah, I think for me personally, staying on track, and also too, just to elaborate, like it's okay if some days you don't want to do those things, and and so I just want to make sure people know that, because we can be hard on ourselves, and we need that rest and recovery time, because that's also crucial along with consistency too.
It is.
So but as far as strategies goes, I would say like going back into the planner and the journal, and making sure that we just stay on track when it comes to our goals. Like, what do you have to go back to what you want, and that goes back into knowing who you are too. It's like you know who you are, you know what you want, and you know that you have to achieve that in order to receive the results. So so the strategies would be waking up early, getting your day started, making sure that you have like for me, I do morning smoothies, or I do herbal teas, something that will get me going. I like to work out in the mornings as well to get my blood going, and my energy flowing. Also meditating when I first wake up in the morning, so
because a lot of people jump right to their phones.
Yes.
Like, I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, I
No.
need to at least have 10 to 15 minutes to
yes,
myself.
exactly, for sure. So it's just I know it's kind of hard sometimes, because we use our phones as our alarm clocks, and so it's so easy, but I used to have a actual alarm clock, so that I wouldn't use my phone to wake up to, so I can just not even have it. So maybe that's another strategy that someone can use too, in case they are on their phones right when they get up. But yeah, so waking up early, getting your day going, meditating, praying, like you said, in the Word, and then getting into your workout. And even if you're working from home, or if you're working out, so you just have to plan your day out.
Right.
And so if you are going into the office, you have to be there at 8 or 9 a.m. You need to be getting up at least 5:30, 6 a.m. to get your day going, so that you have ample time to get yourself together if you need to go to the gym, and then come back home and shower, or if you want to shower there. So I think implementing those strategies will definitely help staying consistent, and knowing that you have your goals, and you need to do these things in order to receive what you want.
Right.
So I think that's very important, and just staying consistent with that, and then taking breaks. I'm really big on taking breaks too. So it's like, we
That's
can go
huge
hard,
too.
but we need to slow down too.
Because burnout is real.
Yes, and the field being in the social works, psychology, all of that mental health aspect, that's something I had to learn along the way too. And so I just want to let everyone know that breaks are just very important. So making sure we're taking our breaks, and and then getting back into the swing of things. And even in my breaks, I like to take time to also just be in stillness, and also not allow everyday thoughts or bills or anything that comes into our mind throughout the day, So, I think that using that would be good. And then when you go into your nightly routine, staying consistent with that too, because I know a lot of people are big right now on the 5 to 9 p.m. kind of routine, where they're going to the gym maybe the second time of the day, or they are doing it for that aspect. So if you're not a morning person and you don't like waking up early, you like to do things after work, then that's for you, So making sure you stay on track that way as well. So, but I think it's really good to wake up early and get your day going.
It is.
And so that's how I like to start my day. And it's been consistent for years. So and I think you're in a better mental space too, because you're not just waking up going straight to work. I think you need time and space to get your day going.
Yeah, I always say you can get so much done in the morning.
Yes.
Like in that 5 a.m. space to 7 a.m. or maybe that 7 a.m. to whatever. But I'm just like, you can just get so much done and just feel so much better, energized.
You feel good. And there's not a lot of people up at that time too. So you can feel the energy.
Exactly. It's quiet. Like, like it's not all that outside noise or maybe inside noise if you have a family. Like,
for sure.
You can really just kind of be by yourself and kind of have that tunnel vision.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. It's huge. So, what are some challenges you faced as a health and wellness coach and as a woman trusting God's plan for your life? Have you ever felt like you yourself couldn't follow some of your own words of advice?
Yeah, for sure. And challenges, I think maneuvering my emotional maturity, honestly. Growing up in a home where I didn't know really how to... I grew up in a very, like, how do you describe it? Not chaotic, but like very just argumentative and like very lash out. I didn't know how to control my emotions. And so I think along your healing journey, that's really crucial, because because when you can really take a pause and think about the things that, how can what I'm about to say affect someone else?
Right.
And so I think along the way, especially helping other people with their emotions, and a lot of times I've worked in psychiatric hospitals. I've worked in mental health facilities where they were nonverbal, verbal. So I had to really teach and learn at the same time. So, and I think that was a really difficult challenge for me, because I had to try to show someone that I was also still trying to figure out for myself too. And so once I really got to a place where I could very, very much control how my emotions, because I'm very sensitive. Like I said, I'm gentle. I'm very sensitive. I'm such an empath. I feel everything.
Yes. It's hard. It's hard not to.
So I think that's like one of the biggest challenges I've had to face.
Yeah. Definitely emotional maturity for sure,
Yes.
especially for women because we're so emotional and we like to
Yes.
act on emotions. Or the first thing that someone says to us or does, we're like, we're getting on, we're taking
Uh-huh.
it personal.
Yeah,
So
take it
just
personal.
maturing and seeing like this is how my past self would act, and
Yes.
then now seeing like this is how my current self and present
Yes.
self acts. It's like
Yes.
I've come a long way. That's
Exactly. That is
growth.
so much growth. So much growth.
I love that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So sometimes finances can be a hindrance for some. So, what ways can people utilize resources or seek resources around them that are affordable or accessible to them?
I've always say use the person next to you. Use your friends. Those are
Mm-hmm.
your closest, network. And that's something I also had to learn. Using your resources that are close to you, that your friends care about you. They want,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to ask for help.
It
And I
is.
think that's the biggest thing, is
Yep.
really just putting your pride aside and letting go of your ego, that you
Mm-hmm.
can figure it out by yourself, that no, you can use your resources, especially when it comes to money, because sometimes that
Yeah.
can be, difficult for people, and that was difficult for me at a time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I'm so used to being an independent go-getter, doing it
Right.
myself, and then when
I'm
I
not. No, I don't. I need help. Like,
exactly.
please
It's like,
provide
no,
it.
exactly. So I'm like, no, you have to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
and more than likely the person will help you.
Right.
And if that person doesn't help you, then the next person will. And just
Mm-hmm.
using resources and knowing, and like being in the community, I've networked with um, people who are like transportation, like even
Mm.
like using that resource, not using your own funds for your car. Like
Yep.
it's just so many different things, and that you can use, especially here in Los Angeles. Like
Right.
it's so huge where it's resources out there. So it's just a matter of effort. It's just a matter of
It
looking,
is.
and it's a matter of using people close to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is huge when it comes to resources.
Yeah.
Using what
And
you already have too.
exactly. You don't know until you ask. And you don't know who people know,
Yes.
Like
And that's
people
when it
may
comes
not
to
directly have that answer or that
yes.
resource, but maybe they know somebody that does.
Exactly. So that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
It
Got to use
opens
the
the
people
door.
around you.
Yes.
For sure. So, what do you think is the most important thing for a client to remember when working toward a goal?
That it's okay to stop and start over.
Mm.
It's okay to start over
And
sometimes.
people have so much of a hard time starting over
Yes.
in everything. Yeah.
It's okay to start over.
And why
It's
is it
really
okay?
because because if you like, you want to fail forward in life too, because you, especially when it comes to business, or if it comes to new ventures, in order to succeed you have to fail. And I think that's when people feel like, oh, this didn't work out, so I'm just done with it. And it's like, no, figure something else out.
Right.
you
Plan
know,
B.
it's okay to start over, and when you start over, you're able to now have an experience that taught you some things that now you can apply that to your next go round, and so, I think it's okay for people to know that it's okay to start over.
Yeah.
It's okay to not succeed the way that you thought that you were supposed to succeed in that, because like I said, I'm a former business owner, so I've started that venture. I fell forward. I had things that happened to me during that time where I needed to learn and I needed to grow, and so I had to start over and figure it out again. And what do I want now? So
Exactly.
I think that, speaking off experience, I think it's okay to start over.
Yeah. And it doesn't always mean completely over.
No.
I mean, it could be things that you took from your experience that did well, but then applying those to,
Yes. Yep.
maybe the middle of where you are. And yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want people to be afraid of that, start
No.
over, because they're just
No.
like, oh my gosh, especially like people that have families and they're just like, oh my gosh, I have to start all of this over. Like I have a family, kids, but yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
So, what do you think is the most important aspect of a healthy lifestyle?
Mindset. Everything is mental.
Yeah.
So when you have a good head on your shoulder, when you have a clear mind, when you're present, you are able to everything else to kind of show in your life. And so when you're not allowing thoughts to kind of dictate yourself and where you are and where you're going, just being present in the now and being and knowing that everything's okay. And so when you have that mindset, you're able to put your best foot forward in life and wherever direction you want to take that. So I think having a healthy lifestyle is starting first with your mind.
Yeah. And how do you start first with your mind? Like, do you maybe read or hear different sermons, or do you read certain books, or just kind of like put yourself in a space and just block out everything else?
All of the above.
Okay.
For
Cool.
sure. For sure.
Cool.
It's tools to use, like, YouTube and, like you said, put it on sermons and things like that, and going to church or whatever feels good to you. And also being still and, quieting out your mind is like the very first thing when it comes to your mind, as far as, making sure that you are balanced.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mindset for sure.
And I feel like out in LA, you have to have that, at least from what I've seen. You have to have that mindset where you kind of already know yourself, what you're going for, because it's so easy to be swayed and distracted and, influenced with all of these type of people and things. So I think you need to just make sure that you're grounded with that. Because people I have seen have really lost themselves. In a good way, some in a bad way. But it's just like, wow, you really have to take a step back and be like, maybe if they would have had this certain mindset, that it would have helped.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
So, what have you learned about yourself through your journey of trusting God's plan? I know it can go on and on, right? It's an endless list.
What have I learned? Man, trusting God's plan. Literally, moving out here, and I know, other people can speak for that too, moving to LA from a different state, for me, it was across the country. And, I think that in itself is like, you have to have some type of trust, especially when you're by yourself and you're doing it for you, but ultimately for God, and so, I think learning to know that every day is a process and a learning process, and every day is just a day where you have to trust God, because we don't know tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in an hour. We really don't know. So we have to remain present. And I think that is like the biggest lesson for me I've learned with trusting God, is just to be present and to trust Him to guide me, and to know that it's okay to surrender to Him, because He knows I don't know. So
true.
So yeah, definitely just surrendering and letting go, and knowing that I'm gonna always be okay, because He told me I will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having faith and just taking that risk, because if you hear it from the Lord, it must be right.
It must be right.
Yes. And I did that as well. I trusted God's plan when I moved out here, and I took that risk. So many people saying, oh my gosh, I don't know if you're going to like it. It's so expensive. Just all these outside people. And it was just like they were projecting that onto
their
me.
Their fear onto you.
And of course, I'm feeling it like, well, is this...
Like maybe second guessing yourself.
Right.
Well, maybe they are right.
Maybe not. Maybe I need to rethink some things.
Yes.
But when you have heard it from the Lord and you're confident in, knowing that it's okay, He wouldn't steer me wrong.
And know that it's always going to be okay.
Exactly. So everything happens for a reason. So that's what I love about it. So
no, yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason, and taking a risk and knowing that if you fall, it's okay, because everything's going to work out, because it was already written for you.
Exactly.
For it to work out.
Right. And knowing that the journey continues,
It
like it doesn't
does.
stop where
It never stops.
you messed up, or
Yes.
even
Though we
like,
want to think that in that moment. Like,
right, I
it's
know. Like the world is ending.
over. Yes.
Like, no, you'll be okay.
Yes.
You'll live another day.
Yes.
Yes. So, what's next for Chrissy? Like, any plans to coach basketball in your downtime?
You know,
What is the next thing?
I've thought about it. I think about basketball a lot because that was like the foundation for me.
Yeah, tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So I received a scholarship right out of high school to play in college, and I
Nice.
played for 4 years. I played at Flagler College. Also, so I actually went to a 2-year school first.
Okay.
Out of college, I went to a 2-year, and then I transferred over to a 4-year school. And then I graduated there, and that's when I started the journey. I was in Florida at Flagler College,
Okay.
and then I coached high school basketball there at St. Augustine High School. And
Nice.
so, girls basketball team, and that was such a cool experience, such a great experience because I was able to apply everything I've learned to, to younger girls and to so that they could succeed and go to college and help them throughout their
Yeah.
process, just like I did. So that was really cool. And then also I played basketball since I was 8 years old. So that was
Yes.
really a big part of my
Wow.
life. And, so I used that to my advantage to also play semi-pro. So I played in the league for a couple years, and that was really fun.
What was your position?
My position was a shooting guard.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you got
I have
that
all of it. Okay. All right.
I love that.
And yeah, so, that's when I was like, okay, I want to just move more so into my career now as far as psychology, as far as mental health. And that's when that started.
Okay.
So it's been 8 years I've been in this field. And,
Wow.
I enjoy it because, it's not for me. It is for me, but it's really for the purpose, but more so for the people. I love people. I love community, and I love to see people grow, and I love the feeling of helping people.
Yeah.
And so, because in a sense, I'm helping myself as well, So growth is just like me. I'm such a Capricorn. Like I literally am like, go, 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 hard, hard, hard. Like I gotta get it done, achieve, like finish it, complete it. And so when I start something, I like to complete it. So I think basketball is like, I think I see myself maybe giving back to the community in a way when it
Okay.
comes to the basketball community.
Okay, yeah.
And as far as what's coming for Chrissy Lee, I think I'm moving more into content creation and learning more
Yes.
marketing, and I'm super excited about that because I really feel good doing it, and I know that you're in that space too. So
Yeah. We have to
we have to
collab.
collab for sure.
Yes, yes. It's so much like, to do within that space. And,
Yes.
I mean, people love seeing everyday people, just doing what they do.
Yes.
You know?
And that's all it is.
Yeah. It
all
doesn't
it
have to
is.
be anything extravagant.
No.
I mean, just you sharing your story. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so before we wrap up, I always love to give my audience some knowledge and advice from myself and guests I have on the show, experts in the world on things that they would share with fellow women listening. So, with that being said, I'm in the business of uplifting
Yes.
people here. So, I would love to hear your response on 3 pieces of advice
Okay.
to give to just anybody out there listening. It could be on the topic, it could just be on anything.
Okay. I think self-love comes to mind. Self-love, it will take you far in life. That will build the confidence. It will build just everything you need in life as far as, because love is ultimately from God. And so when you have that love within yourself, you pour it out into others.
Yeah.
And other people will feel it. And that's the positive energy that you want to keep. And so self-love, positive energy, being positive,
Yes.
staying in a positive mindset, and just, not allowing the negativity to get in the way of the core of who you are. And then third is, it's really honestly, and it's something that for me, I'm taking the advice too.
Right. We all need to just say that out loud to ourselves
Yes.
before we say it to other people, right?
Exactly. Is to, because I have a big heart, and so, you know, leading with your heart and your mind, but really your heart, because your heart is like one of the biggest organs. So you want to, you know, stay true to who you are, and that comes from the heart. And so self-love, and, you know, staying positive, and making sure that you know, keep your heart, keep who you are, and stay true to who you are, and within yourself, in your heart. I think that's huge.
Yeah. Basically, overall theme, leading with love.
Yes. It's all
You have
love.
to lead with love.
Yes.
Because when people see that, they see, oh my gosh, it's positive, enthusiastic, all of that.
People want to be around that too.
Exactly. People want to be around love. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Yes. Okay, I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
love this
Thank you
entire
so much,
thing.
Taylor.
Yes. So we are wrapping up now with Chrissy. This was a wonderful episode. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
I
you
know
so much.
our schedules were busy and
I
we
know,
finally got
right?
together.
We got it done. Yes.
I'm just like, perfect. But this was season 2, episode 8. This was actually our last episode for this season.
Oh my God, I made it to the second season.
Yes, I'm so happy we got to get Chrissy in before we wrap up this season. You all can tune into season 3 coming soon, but tune into this episode on everywhere you get your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, all of that and more.
All of it.
Yes. But in the meantime, tune in, and yeah, this was it. So hope you all loved it. I did. This was a great ending to the season. It was very fun. It was actually her first.
It was my first one.
It was perfect.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. So with that being said, we will close out and we will check you in the next season.
Bye, guys.
Hey. Clink, clink.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers.